It's just past 4 a.m. at Al-Kharj airbase. The air is cool and quiet, but tension hangs thick in the briefing room. Captain Cesar Rico Rodriguez sits in the front row, flipping through the mission packet. Beside him is his wingman, Captain Craig Mole. Underhill focused, calm, silent. The projector hums to life. A map of Iraq fills the wall, glowing in dim light. Target area is east of Baghdad. The ops officer begins. A 36-aircraft strike package will cross the border in 20 minutes. Your job is to clear the air ahead and make sure nothing touches them. No one speaks. Everyone knows what's out there. Iraqi MiG-29 seconds. Highly maneuverable. Deadly in the hands of the right pilot. And surface-to-air missile coverage is thicker the closer they get to the capital. AWACS call sign is Overwatch. They'll coordinate intercepts. You'll be at 28,000. Stay tight. Stay sharp. And don't chase anything you can't kill. Rico glances once at Mole. They exchange a brief nod, the kind that says, "We've done this before." But even veterans feel the weight before wheels up. Outside on the flight line, their F-15C Eagles wait in the dark, silent, still, ready. Rico climbs into his cockpit. Systems come alive with a low hum. A family photo rests just below the radar screen. Mole finishes strapping in next to him, giving a thumbs up through the canopy. Eagle 1 ready, Rico calls. Eagle 2, ready. Afterburners ignite. The engines rise into a steady roar. The twin eagles roll forward, lifting into the sky, one after the other, vanishing into the black over Saudi Arabia, heading north into hostile airspace. The mission has begun. 20 minutes after takeoff, the eagles are on station. Captain Rico Rodriguez and Mole fly high and fast, holding point ahead of the incoming strike formation. Below and behind, dozens of F-16 seconds fly in tight clusters, loaded with general-purpose bombs. The formation pushes deeper into Iraqi airspace. The skies remain clear, the ground quiet. Over the comms, a calm voice breaks through. Strike packages 2 minutes from target. Begin descent. The F-16 seconds peel downward in formation, descending toward their designated run lines. Rico watches from above as the first wave lines up their drops. Moments later, the bombs fall. Bright flashes erupt across the landscape as ammunition depots are torn open. Black smoke rises in thick columns. From altitude, the damage is unmistakable. The targets are hit, but something feels off. No surface-to-air missile launches, no anti-aircraft fire, no radar locks, just silence. Mole's voice breaks through. Quiet down there. Too quiet, Rico replies. Then AWACS calls in. Eagle flight, Overwatch. We have 2 fast movers inbound. Bearing 030. Altitude 25. Closing fast. Rico straightens in his seat. His right hand shifts to radar control. Copy. We'll get eyes on. A pause. Second pair. 0340, further out. Looks like they're setting up a bracket. A bracket means one thing. An ambush. Rico flicks the radar to active scan. A faint return appears. Then another. Contact, he says flatly. On his console, the signature flashes into view, confirmed hostile. A familiar number pulses on the warning screen. MiG-29 seconds, Mole says. Rico doesn't answer. He already knows. The fight's coming. Rico adjusts the radar display, narrowing the scan angle. The contacts sharpen 2 fast, high-altitude fighters closing head-on. AWACS reads them out again. Eagle 1, you've got bandits at 030 for 35. Altitude 2 to 5. Rico responds without hesitation. We'll take the lead pair. He slews the radar cursor over the nearest target and locks. A steady tone confirms the track. On the warning display, a number appears in red 29. The signal intensifies. They're locking us, Mole says. Yeah, they see us too. Both pilots push throttle to full afterburner. Their F-15 seconds surge ahead. The Fulcrums aren't backing off. They're coming straight in, nose on, fast and climbing. Twin engine trails stretch behind them like spears. This isn't a probe. This is an attack. The distance closes rapidly, 25 miles. then 20. Rico arms an AIM-7 Sparrow. The system locks into launch ready. But there's a problem. They're dropping. Low. Mole calls. Rico watches the enemy blips shift downward on his scope. The MiGs are diving fast toward the low terrain. They're trying to disappear into the ground clutter, using radar shadow to break the lock. The lock weakens, flickers, then breaks. Rico tries to reacquire. One blip becomes fuzzy, then two again. He grabs one, locks, waits for a tone. 10 seconds, then gone. He exhales sharply. Lost lock. The radar sweep comes around again. Nothing. Then a flicker. Contact. 12 miles. They're back, but still too low for a clean missile shot. Rico holds lock briefly long enough to ready a shot but doesn't fire. The AIM-7 needs constant radar guidance. If he shoots and they vanish again, it's a wasted missile. They're baiting us, Rico mutters. On the scope, the MiGs appear again, then break off at an angle. They're trying to drag us, Mole says. Yeah. Pull us low, force us defensive. Not happening. The Fulcrums know the Eagles are here, and they're not charging blindly. They're maneuvering, waiting for the right angle. So are Rico and Mole. The engagement is on. Neither side has fired, but both are hunting. The Fulcrums aren't running. They're maneuvering deliberately, precisely. Rico watches his screen as the radar lock drops again. 1 second it's solid, the next, gone. They're cutting across the beam, Mole says. They're playing the geometry. He's right. The MiGs have started flying perpendicular to the F-15 seconds, sliding sideways through the air, just fast enough to slip into the Eagle's forward radar blind spot. It's a known tactic, but watching it unfold in real time is maddening. Rico shifts scan volume and narrows the search range. One of the MiGs pops back up on the scope, faint but trackable. He locks it, waits for tone, just a little longer, then gone again. No shot, Rico mutters. Aim 7 seconds require a steady radar track from launch to impact. Without it, they're useless. These blinks on the scope aren't enough. He cycles to the second contact. Same problem. Lock for a few seconds, then vanish below the terrain mask. The Fulcrums are dancing just above the hard deck, maintaining separation, never climbing high enough for a clean engagement. Each radar return feels like bait. AWACS, Eagle 1. We're losing and regaining lock. Contacts are staying low and lateral. Copy that, Eagle 1. They're dragging east. You're leaving our primary coverage zone. Stand by for handoff. Rico frowns. He's being pulled toward Baghdad, deeper into a kill zone. He zooms the map. SAM rings begin to overlap. The Iraqi defenses near the capital are layered, thick, and unforgiving. Still no missiles fired. Not by the enemy, not by them. Just this constant back and forth, a radar chess match at supersonic speed. They're trying to keep us locked up while they wait for backup, Mole says. Or worse, trying to lead us into a trap, Rico replies. Either way, the MiGs aren't chasing, they're guiding. And the Eagles are being drawn into the heart of it. The horizon ahead begins to glow in the early dawn. Baghdad is coming into view, flat rooftops, industrial zones, layered defenses. Inside the cockpit, Rico's radar warning receiver lights up. Multiple threat codes appear. Surface-to-air radars are now tracking. Getting hits on the RWR, Mole says. At least 4 signals. Never class. Rico checks his scope. The indicators match known S-125 sites surrounding the capital. He's flown near them before, but never this deep. You seeing this? Mole presses. Yeah. We're getting too close. We should turn back. Rico hesitates, then switches to strike package frequency. Overwatch, Eagle 1. Strike flight still in the box? AWACS answers. Affirmative. Vipers are on final attack leg. 1 minute to weapons release. Rico exhales. Turning now would leave them open. If the MiGs slip past and hit the F-16 seconds from behind, the whole mission falls apart. Negative, we hold. Mole doesn't argue. He shifts formation slightly, positioning just off Rico's right wing. The Eagles maintain altitude and course, heading straight toward the missile rings. RWR chirps again, more tracking signals lighting up. Each one tighter, each one closer. They're trying to herd us, Rico mutters. From above, AWACS continues to monitor, but their tone shifts. Eagle 1, be advised you're leaving primary coverage. You'll be handed to Eastern Sector in 30 seconds. Copy, Rico responds. He knows what that means. If anything happens during the handoff, there's a window, a blind spot where no one's watching. Another radar spike appears. Closer. Stronger. They're painting us hard now, Mol says. Still no launches. Still no MiGs reappearing. The silence isn't reassuring. It's strategic. The Fulcrums aren't fighting. They're setting the board, and the Eagles are flying deeper into it. Because if they don't, those F-15 seconds finish their run with MiGs at their 6. It's a gamble. And Rico's not pulling out. Over the radio, AWACS breaks in with a sharper tone. Eagle 1, pop-up contact. Bearing 330, range 13. Altitude low. Rico blinks. That's behind and to the left. Not from the original group. Confirm new contact? He asks. Affirmative. Single fast mover. No radar signature. Possibly flying cold. A third MiG. Not showing on RWR. Not emitting. It's flying blind. No radar, no radio. Just speed and angles. A stealthy push through the edge of the coverage zone. Why didn't we see it sooner? Mol asks. He's running dark. They're using him to flank. Rico's hand goes to the emergency jettison. Dropping tanks, he says flatly. Fuel tanks release from beneath the wings and tumble away. He yanks the stick left and hauls into a hard turn. The sky pivots in his canopy. The horizon swings up over the glass. He levels just as the contact appears a speck, fast and climbing. Bogey. 9 miles. High closure. Mole calls it 2, locking on. The new MiG is alone, coming in fast, and now well within firing range. This wasn't an accident. It's a deliberate push, timed to coincide with the Eagles being distracted and outside full AWACS coverage. Rico locks the target. It flickers, then steadies. But the MiG still isn't emitting, not on radar, not on RWR. It's ghosting. Until now. Suddenly, the red 29 pulses on Rico's scope. The MiG has turned its radar on. The game is up. They're locking me, Rico says. Visual? Not yet. He banks right again, searching. The range is now 8 miles. Too close for comfort. No one's backing off. The merge is coming. Fast. Rico steadies the jet as the contact grows larger on his display. It's now within visual range, approaching from the left and slightly above. He squints through the canopy. The silhouette is faint sharp angles, twin tails, but he can't yet confirm markings. Target at 8 miles. Mole calls. Still no ID. Rico locks the contact on radar. The tone is solid. He's within range to fire. But the rules are clear. Any radar contact within 10 miles must be visually identified before engagement. No exceptions. Even here, even now, he can't risk hitting a friendly. Hold fire, Rico says. I need a positive ID. Seconds pass. Then, the warning tone spikes. He's got me locked, Rico says. Mole's voice tightens. He's spiking you hard. Rico makes a snap decision. He rolls inverted and dives. The jet drops fast. G-forces push into his chest. He deploys countermeasures, a trail of decoys fans out behind him. Still, the lock holds. He's not breaking, Rico says. I'm still painted. Down at low altitude, he banks hard left, terrain rushing by below. Above, Mole is climbing. He still has the contact on radar, but hasn't fired. Still no visual confirmation, he says. Rico calls it in. Overwatch. Eagle 1. Confirm contact ID. Possible. Hostile. Immediate clearance needed. There's a pause. Then the reply. Contact confirmed hostile. MiG-29. You are clear to engage. Copy. Mole. It's yours. Mole doesn't hesitate. Sparrow away. The missile drops and ignites, streaking into the sky on a straight path toward the fulcrum. Rico watches from below. The jet above him shifts, suddenly jolted. A fireball erupts in the sky. Splash one, Mole says. Rico levels out at low altitude, breathing hard. They've survived the first strike. But it's not over yet. The Sparrow missile hits clean. The MiG-29 bursts mid-air, torn apart in a flash of debris and smoke. No parachute appears. Rico watches the explosion from below as he pulls out of his dive, skimming just a few hundred feet above the desert floor. He exhales. One down. Mole slides back into formation. Got eyes on you, right side. For a moment, the sky is still. The mission, it seems, is back under control. Then AWACS calls in again. Eagle flight, new group of contacts, bearing 350, range 10 miles, altitude 23. Rico checks his radar. Fresh returns are moving in fast from the north. More Fulcrums. The F-16 strike group has already completed its run. They're egressing southwest, low and light. Rico considers breaking off. They've done their job. The strike package is safe. But if these MiGs keep pushing south, they could still catch the Vipers on the way out. He doesn't hesitate. We're turning north, Mole responds. Instantly. Copy. Pushing with you. They pull into a wide left turn. The horizon tilts. Radar signals sharpen. There's still one more fight coming, and the Eagles are heading straight for it. The new contact flashes on Rico's scope. Solid return. Steady altitude. He locks it. But something's off. It's flagging friendly, Mole says. IFF systems say it's one of ours. Rico narrows his eyes. The radar tag is inconsistent. Friendly ID one moment, unknown the next. I don't trust it, he replies. I'm going in for a visual. He drops low and accelerates, closing the gap. The sky blurs around him. Within seconds, the silhouette comes into view. Delta wings. Twin vertical stabilizers. Definitely a MiG profile. As he climbs for a better angle, the sunlight catches the camo pattern. And the markings are clear now, green and brown livery, with a faded Iraqi flag across the tail. It's a MiG, Rico calls out. Confirm hostile. Engaging. The MiG-29 spots him and banks hard right. Rico follows. The two fighters spiral into a turn nose to nose, banking tighter with every second. Altitude bleeds fast. They're losing height with each pass, trying to outmaneuver one another without overshooting. Rico's hands grip tight around the stick. His body strains under the G-forces. His HUD blinks, tracking the MiG through the arc. The MiG breaks left again. Rico matches it. I'm inside his circle, he says, breath short. Stay clear. Mole holds high and watches from above. Rico fights to stay behind the Fulcrum, each move squeezing blood from his head and chest. But he's gaining. Slowly, the enemy slips into the center of his targeting reticle. One clean turn away from firing. He braces. This time, there won't be hesitation. The MiG breaks downward in a steep dive, trying to shake Rico. He follows for a moment, but holds fire. The Fulcrum is descending fast, too fast. Rico steadies his F-15 just above the falling jet, watching closely. If he pulls out, I've got the shot, he says. But the MiG doesn't level. It keeps diving. Desert terrain rushes up beneath it. The pilot tries to recover, the nose jerks upward, but the angle is too sharp and the speed too high. The aircraft begins to shudder. Then it's gone. A dark plume rises, where the MiG struck the desert floor. No explosion. Just a violent impact. Rico pulls up, banking away from the crash site. He doesn't celebrate. Mole rejoins on his right, silent at first. Then the call from AWACS comes in. All hostiles neutralized. Airspace is clear. There's a pause. Then, Eagle flight. Return to base. Rico nods. Copy. RTB. The adrenaline begins to fade. The silence settles in. They turn west. Back. Toward the Saudi border. 2 Eagles flying home. 1 mission complete. Hours later, back at Al-Kharj, the sun is high and the jets are quiet. Rico steps down from the ladder, helmet in hand, boots touching concrete. Mechanics swarm the aircraft. Intel officers wait with questions. But for a moment, no one speaks to him. He walks across the tarmac alone, replaying every move in his head. The radar locks, the dives, the indecision, the kill. It wasn't clean, it wasn't simple, and it never is. He doesn't celebrate, not with a MiG in the dirt and a pilot who didn't make it home. In the debrief room, someone tallies the numbers. It's his third confirmed MiG-29 victory, tying him for the most Fulcrum kills by a US pilot since Vietnam. But Rico doesn't care much for records. He thinks about the skill it took for those MiG pilots to vanish and reappear, to pull them into a trap. He knows how close it came. That's what lingers. For those who fly into combat, no mission ends cleanly. Not when lives are on both sides of the pirate engagement. Some go home, some don't. And for those who do, the final words never change. Let's go home.